Hello. Ah, man. Okay, I gotta talk to you about some bullshit that just happened to me. Round of applause if you're Spotify people. You know Spotify people? Okay, I also am a Spotify person. I don't know if you guys have this here in the US yet. I'm from Canada, but we have this thing on Spotify right now called the Spotify DJ. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a little, I turned on Spotify like a week ago. I was going to pick up some friends from the airport, right? Some cool ass comic friends who I really like. I don't know them that well. I'm going to pick them up from the airport. I get in the car, I turn on Spotify, and it's like, here's a new feature. If you press this button, the Spotify DJ will come on. And I don't know about you guys, but if I have people in the car, I usually will put on like a Spotify curated playlist so that I'm not responsible for the music. Do you know what I mean? So if a bad song comes on, I'm like, whose fucking bullshit is this? Right? So I'm like, okay, what is this DJ about? And I turn it on, and it comes on, and it's like this AI radio DJ voice that comes on. And it's like, hey, what's up? My name's Xavier, but my friends call me X. I'm not gonna do the voice, but it was kind of racist. So. Right, so I turn it on, and then I kind of liked it. It's cringe, I'm a little bit cringe, and it's doing the thing where it's like, it's presenting me my music like I'm listening to the radio. It's like just, giving me the songs that I listen to and giving me a little background on them and all this stuff. It's kind of neat. So I zone out and I'm listening to that, right? And then I go to pick up my friends, and as they're getting to the car, I think about the music, and I'm like, oh, I got the DJ on, so I'm covered. It doesn't matter, right? And they get in the car, and then the car starts, and then the DJ is like, all right, this next band coming up, they're no stranger to you. They were your top band in 2022. Here's Fall Out Boy. And I'm like, fuck! How can you do me dirty like that? Fucking, dude, Xavier, you gotta have my back. When there's cool people in the car, I need you to be like, yo, bro, here's like a Kendrick album that only you've heard of. You know what I mean? The point here is that we're too stupid to have AI. We're not ready for it, right? Humans are dumb. Like, if you think we're not dumb, we hunt ducks with guns when they will walk right up to you if you have bread. We can't have AI yet. We're not ready. We can't even get the ice cream machine at McDonald's to work. You know what I mean? But fix that first, then have robots do our shit. Man, it's good. It's good to be here. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. Yeah. I rode my bike here. That's what you guys think of us, right? Bunch of no gun having, gluten intolerant, freedom hating pussies, right? That's what you fucking think? Yeah. Guess what, motherfuckers? You're correct, 100%. The only hunting I've ever done is for a good deal on skinny jeans. Right? I might look tough or whatever because I'm covered in tattoos, but if you look close, that's a giraffe on roller skates. It's not it. I'm not in a gang. I look like the desk you sat in when you were 8. A public art space, not tough at all. We just did a show in Tampa before this, and they took one look at me and they were like, this guy is here to educate us on pronouns, for sure. Which is good, because the only time they're saying they, them in Florida is when they're talking about immigrants, so probably for the best. It's not good, but it's true. Man, I'm from Vancouver, BC. Anybody been there in Vancouver? Yeah, you been? Yeah, cool. Yeah, you look like you're from Vancouver. You look like you are made of weed, so that makes sense. You've been to Vancouver? He's like, yeah, man, fuck. I'm there right now, man. Yeah, Vancouver is, it's white. It's like LA in a jacket. It's terrible. It's whiter than like the houses 2 blocks up. It's the whitest place imaginable. We did a show right before I left there at a place called Session that is a spin class studio and a microbrewery at the same time. It was the whitest thing I've ever been a part of in my life. People think that white people don't have culture. We do. It's that. It's that, and it's when we put eyelashes on the headlights of a Volkswagen Bug. Peak white people culture. White culture is being a bartender for 7 years and then becoming a real estate agent. Right. White people have culture. You think we don't? I guess you've never been to a dog's birthday party before? I'd go. I love the idea of a dog's birthday party because I like thinking about hungover dogs. Right? Like two dogs, like service dogs at work talking about how fucked up they got the night before. Like how we do, right? He's like, oh, I was not a good boy last night. It's like, I ate so much people food. And the other one's like, Cooper, honestly, you were begging for it. It's like, oh, I have no idea where my ball is. Yeah, you think that's bad enough? My Instagram was just me barking into a mirror for 45 minutes last night, right? We're trying to one-up one another. The other one's like, man, I fucking threw up in the kitchen. It's like, and then I ate it. That's so stupid. Man. It's fun. I like coming to it. This is my first time doing stand-up comedy legally in America, so that's nice. Yeah. Great. I love it here. I've been here for 2 days. I haven't even been shot at all. It's awesome. It's great, dude. But like, okay, so I don't know, it's hard for me to tell what you guys, if you're like left-leaning or right-leaning here. Because it's like, I see, there's people downtown like smoking weed, right? And just like, openly in public, but then you also appear to have your own navy, so it's a little bit confusing. Like men can be holding hands, that's fine, but if we see you get married, we'll fire this thing up. It's fun, man. I love coming to the States. I'll tell you that it's like, I got off the plane and then I went to get coffee in Atlanta. I was in the airport and I'm ordering a coffee, and then the lady working behind the counter was like, sausage, egg, and cheese. She called out to another person. This guy came over and got his order, and I'm like, oh, you have breakfast sandwiches here. I'll get one of those. I'll get that. And so I waited, and it came to me, and then I'm going to tell you the difference between Canada and America, the rest of the world, really. I get my sandwich, okay, and then I sit down, and I open it up, and it's 2 full barbecued burger-sized sausage patties with like liquid cheese cascading off of it, and then it's on a croissant that's like this big. And I know that right now you guys are all like, yeah, and? And that's the problem. Do you understand that that's not normal? That's not happening in other places. Do you understand? It's crazy. I'm here for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm into it. But it's like America definitely runs on Dunkin'. That is true. Yeah, but also insulin pumps. Like this is why you can't have free healthcare. Because the whole country would be bankrupt immediately. It's crazy. It's wild. I love it. I love that you're like, yeah, fuck yeah. I feel like I'm starting a rally. I should run for president. We're bringing red hats back. Gonna reclaim them. God, your slogan is like the land of the free, home of the brave. It needs to be hurry up, finish your energy drink, or you don't get any Mountain Dew. That's fun times, man. We do doing comedy in Canada is different because we don't have a ton of clubs like this. We probably have like 5. This is a really good club. Make some noise for a Dead Crow, man. This is you guys have a very legit club here. We don't have a lot of places like this in Canada. I spend a lot of time touring to do this for a living in rural Canada. And let me tell you, it is not good. It's rough. So we did a show, we did the last tour that we went on, actually it was me and Bo, the headliner here tonight, we were touring together. We were northern Canada. Like, I know I'm a huge pussy, we talked about this, but when you get into the bushes of Canada and that's where they live, that's where men are made. That's, like there's a factory there that pumps them out and they come out, like, do you need anything chopped? And it's like, it's scary. Like, I don't do well out there. Like, I've tried being a man. It's not for me. I feel like you're not a man until you've been to the dump without your dad. And it would never work for me because even if I went without him, I'd have to borrow his truck, right? So I have no chance. So we're doing this tour, okay? And we started at a town called Terrace, okay? That is so far north that you get there and you feel like you're doing a wellness check on the town. Like, do you need me to bring you anything from a city center? That's what it feels like. So we're heading into town and I get pulled over because I'm going way too fast, like 140 kilometers, so like 20 miles an hour or something. I got pulled over and the cop, he's coming up to the window, right? It's just me and Bo in the car and I'm like, don't make a joke, don't make a joke, don't make a joke, because I can't fucking stop. It's like this all the time and I don't have a good track record with authorities. Right? Like one time I went to Mexico and I was going through customs. They were like, do you have any drugs? And I said, why would I bring sand to the beach? And then I had to talk to them for 6 hours. And they didn't like it. So another time on Canada Day, our July, our 4th, it's like our 4th of July, right? A cop was pouring out my friend's booze and lecturing him, and I took a red Solo cup underneath and was catching it like this, and he did not think it was funny at all. He kicked it. I had to go talk to them for a bunch of hours. Anyway, so I don't have like a good track record. So he's coming to the window, and I'm like, don't make a joke, don't make a joke, because it's bad. 2 seconds alone, and I'm like, Kool-Aid Man's kids probably never felt safe masturbating. Like, I can't stop making jokes. So he knocks on the window, I roll the window down, and he goes, why were you going so fast? And then I said, are you kidding me? I gotta get to Terrace, baby. And he kind of laughed a little bit. But then he said, you have illegal tints on your car. Because in BC, where I live, you can't have any tint on your front windows. It's illegal. I didn't know this. I don't even know what a manifold is. I just bought the car because it had pretty seats. I don't know shit. So he's like, you have illegal tints. And I said, I don't know what you want me to do about that right now. And he said, you have a choice. You can either have them removed or you can get a fine. And then I said, do you want me to wish them away? And he said, they actually come right off if you have a knife. And then this cop, this police officer, pulled out like a Rambo hunting knife. And he cut the tints off of my car. He made a cut like this and he just went and pulled it off. And then when he did it on the other window, I didn't even get to answer. He just did it. It was fucking crazy. I don't know if you understand the magnitude of, we're in northern Canada. This guy, this cop, hunted down my car and skinned it on the side of the highway. Like, I knew I was north, but I didn't know I was that far north, you know what I mean? That's insane. So we go to do the show, which is in a Legion. I don't know if you guys have Legions, but like, that's what Canadian comedy is. We're in a Legion, right? And so I talked about this on stage. I told the audience what had happened. As soon as I told the story, a lady in the front row was like, oh yeah, Officer Clarabutt, for sure. And then another guy's like, yeah, I hate that guy. And then it just turned into, they all knew him, the whole town. Turns out this guy collects tints off people's cars and saves them. This guy's you need to dig in this guy's yard. This is a serial killer. This is the craziest shit ever. It turns into a town hall meeting where everyone hates this cop. And then after the show, a guy came up to me and held up his phone and he was like, look at this. And he had texted the cop, hey, did you cut the tints off this comedian's car? And the cop wrote back, "What the fuck are they saying?" And then we got the hell out of there. So fun. So, that's so mean. Oh my God, that's so awesome. Thank you for your support at this difficult time of my life. Because my mom is here tonight, so that's wonderful. She's up. It's not really. They all think you're my mom now. Even if I say no, they're gonna be drunk enough to be like, his mom's awesome, I love her. He already thought you were my mom. My dad, so I'm talking about how much of a city boy I am and everything. My dad is very different than me. My dad is from a town called Cut Knife in a province called Saskatchewan, okay? My dad is from a town called Cut Knife. That is a town that is named after how you died and the murder weapon. He's a man's man, like he's a dad. You know what I mean? Like my dad just wakes up in the morning and says the price of gas. He's full on. Like my dad moved out from the prairies to the West Coast in the 60s and became a lumberjack, okay? Like a real lumberjack. I'm like, that's a cartoon job. That's not even a real thing. And then he worked at a pulp mill for 500 years. And then he retired a carpenter with a sweet mustache, right? And I use hair product that smells like cookies. He loves it. Like he climbed up trees and cut them down with his bare hands, and I was a part-time barista. There's nothing wrong with that job. You just can't explain it to a man who was born in 1939. He doesn't get it. Right? I'm like, it's hard. It's like, yeah, is it? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, sometimes on Wednesdays I work for 6 hours. He's like, your job is a break. But that's him, right? But he's a good dude. My dad is a good guy. Because 5 years ago, just a couple months ago, I hit 5 years clean and sober from drugs and alcohol. Yeah. Thank you. I am a hero. Thank you. So I love being sober. It's great. My favorite part about being sober is when people tell me that they're addicted to things that are not drugs and alcohol. That's cute. Like you're addicted to the gym? Are you though? You ever miss 3 days of work because you were doing squats? I don't think you did, Bryce. It's not the same thing. Like, I get that it can be habit forming. I understand all of that. I understand that it's like, a problem for people, but the stakes are just not as high, right? Like, I'm not using other personal trainers because I owe my regular personal trainer $40. Right? Or that lady you work with who says she's addicted to chocolate? Okay. Just go get some fucking chocolate, Heather. No one gives a shit. You're not injecting cocoa between your toes so your coworkers don't find out. Like, when's the last time you locked your kids in the car at 4 o'clock in the morning because you wanted a Kit Kat? Fuck out of here. My sister says she's addicted to cheese. Come on. Were you snorting Parmesan out of one of those big green craft containers in the bathroom at our grandma's funeral? Because I didn't see you when I was in there doing cocaine. So, it's dark. Turns out being a drug addict, not fun. So, I was an active drug addict for 17 years. I was a hard drug user, and the last 5 years have been crazy for me. It's been a really big journey, right? Like, I quit doing drugs, I quit drinking, I quit smoking cigarettes, and I lost 100 pounds, and now all I have to do is I started running, and now all I have to do is become vegan, and I'll be the most annoying person you've ever met. So close. Okay, I actually just ran my first marathon not long ago. So that was great. Thank you. Yeah, my toenail fell off. So if you're thinking about running a marathon, fucking don't. But I didn't just start running marathons. I had to start from the beginning because when I got sober, I was really sick. I was in a really bad shape. I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I did cocaine every day. I drank every day. I had terrible, terrible asthma. I was in really rough shape. I was fun as hell, but I was sick. And I had to go see a doctor when I got sober, because you don't go see a doctor when you're doing drugs, right? Because doctors say loser ass shit like, you gotta stop doing drugs, right? I'm like, I can't stop doing drugs. There's so much drugs left. Don't you know how drugs work, right? I had to go see a doctor, and when I did, my doctor, she was like, you have an enlarged heart, right? And I was like, doctor, I know that I'm super nice. I'm just trying to figure out why I can't breathe when I eat chips, right? She was like, you have to do cardio, and I was like, you have to say a different fucking thing than that. She's like, you gotta do cardio. And I was like, okay, I'll start running. I guess I want to live, whatever. So at the time, I was living with my parents because my parents let me move back in with them when I was 36 and got sober because I stopped stealing from them. They were like, get in here, you rascal. And so I'm living with them, right? And on this day, I'm gonna go for my first ever run. And my parents live on a cul-de-sac. So it's like a cul-de-sac goes out like this, and then it's 1 block around their house, and it's 1 kilometer around their house, which is like, no, it's 3 steps. So in your world or whatever. So it's like half a mile. So on this day, I'm gonna go for my first run ever in my life, right? So I put on my running gear, which at the time was a pair of DC skate shoes, okay, some board shorts, and then Miami Heat Dwayne Wade jersey. I looked like the governor of Florida, so yeah. So I go to go on this run, and I come up the stairs, and my dad, who you just met, is walking across the stairs this way, and he stops in his tracks, and he goes, where are you going? And I said, I'm going for a run. And then he looked me up and down, and he went, okay. And then he pulled out his phone, and he said, I'll get 911 ready. I'm like, fuck! And my mom was like, you can do it! And I'm like, hell yeah, because my mom is awesome, okay? My mom is the most adorable 5'2" tiny felt mouse that you put on a Christmas tree. She's the cutest. My mom, and she's cool too. My mom is 72 years old and she has a podcast. Yeah, it's great too. If you want to listen to it, you just have to have the password to my voicemail. It's called Guess Who Died. It was almost me so many times. Okay, so I gotta go on this run, right? I'm out there, I get about halfway around the block, I'm like, holy shit, I'm doing it, right? But then I have an asthma attack. Yeah, the crowd, you guys are like a TV studio audience, that's fun. Ooh. So then, I have an asthma attack, and I don't know if you've ever had an asthma attack before, but it's like trying to breathe into a shallow plastic bag, okay? But not in a way where you're trying to come. It's bad, right? So it's not like your wife's out of town and you're trying to get into something you found on Reddit, you know what I mean? It's like, it's bad. So I pull out my asthma inhaler, right, which I also need when I come. And I go to use it, right, but it's empty, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I was an active drug addict for almost 2 decades, and this is how I'm gonna go? I thought I would get sober and die doing something I love, you know, like trying to pet a dog and eat a Blizzard while I'm driving. So I call my mom, I'm like, you gotta help me, I'm dying, please come get me. So my mom comes and picks me up, right, and she drives me home, which takes like 2 seconds, and then I come through the door and my dad's standing there waiting for me, and he on the phone, and he goes, good thing I had 911 ready, hey? So I go upstairs, I sit on the couch, I'm trying to like be cool, I'm trying to like stay calm, because that's what you gotta do when you're having an asthma attack, right, to stay calm. And I look over and my mom is doing the most power move mom thing I've ever seen, okay? My mom is tidying up. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she says, your father's on the phone with 911. I wasn't expecting company. Holy shit, that's a real thing that happened. Okay, and then, so the fire department shows up first, right? The fire department shows up first, and they put Ventolin on me, and if you've ever had to use Ventolin, it sorts you out like right away. You breathe it in, it's a minute later, it's like nothing happened, right? So now I can just sort of sit and survey the damage, right? So it's me in my childhood home, having an asthma attack, and then my mom holding a plate of cookies, my dad, and then 8 firemen, 2 of which I went to high school with. Okay? And my dad, now that he sees everything is okay, he sidles up to one of the firemen I went to high school with and he goes, hey, went for a run. Great, cool. So then the ambulance shows up, and here I thought I'd hit rock bottom several months earlier. So the ambulance shows up, and they're like, he's got to come with us. And I'm like, I'm fine. I don't need to go anywhere. I feel fine. And they're like, he has to come. That is protocol. And I'm like, I can't. So I'm like, fine, I'll go. So I go to walk with them, and they're like, you actually can't walk with us. You have to get on the stretcher. They brought the gurney in the house. They're like, you have to get on the stretcher. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. I felt like a soccer player. So, right. So they put me on the stretcher and they wheel me outside, right? And like I said, my parents live on a cul-de-sac. So now the cul-de-sac has become more of an amphitheater. Right. For the neighbors to watch. And they're pulling me out and they're pushing me down the driveway in the stretcher. And I give them the hockey player thumbs up. Right? And then my dad comes out onto the porch to survey his kingdom. And he looks at all the neighbors and he shouts out, went for a run! Thanks a lot. This has been really fun. We're going to love your headliner. I've been Dan Duval. See you later.